You are not going to believe how easy this crochet top is. It has an open back, a relaxed fit, is super simple, and I show you everything step by step. Let's make it together. The yarn I'm using is Belle. For this project I used beige and brown yarn. The recommended hook size for this yarn is 4 mm, 50 grams and has a length of 120 meters. 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen. I used a 4.5 millimeters crochet hook for the entire project to create a softer and more relaxed look. For my size S, I used 5 skeins of beige yarn and less than 1 skein of brown yarn for the finishing details. I'm going to start with the bottom panel first. I work around the body, so the rows will go up and down instead of side to side. I also recommended making a small 10 by 10 cm swatch with your yarn and hook before you start. It will help you check the size. For size S, I'm starting with 17 chain stitches. To choose your size, measure from under your bust to where you want the top to end. That measurement will be the height of your panel. Yarn over and insert your hook into the third chain from the hook. Double crochet. Yarn over again. You should now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. And you continue like this until the end of the row. This will be a shorter top, so you can adjust it to the length you want. Great. Now make 2 chains to turn your work. Then start the next row. Make 1 double crochet into each stitch across again. Pay attention here to start in the very first stitch. Don't skip it. Make 1 double crochet right there at that first stitch, then continue with double crochet across the row. And keep repeating every row exactly the same way until you reach the measurement that fits around your body. My body panel is finished. As you can see, mine is pretty long. I made a total of 72 rows. Later we're going to fold it in half and seam only this one side. But we are not done yet. So far, we've been working in rows, which means that project was growing in this direction. Now we are going to turn it this way. Now I'm going to make a row for the decorative tie that will thread through later. And now I show you exactly how to do it. I'm starting with 1 chain stitch. And now I'm going to make 2 single crochets into each row along the side. And here in the first row, make the first single crochet and second single crochet into the same row. And now we have 2 single crochet in the first row. I'm moving on to the next row, and here I also make 2 single crochets. Insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. And again. So in the first and second rows together, I made a total of 4 single crochets. Here I'm also hiding the yarn tie from joining the yarn by crocheting over it as I go. And just keep continuing the same way all along the side. So now I already finished 3 rows. And now I'm making another 2 single crochets into the 4th row. Here you can see how I hide the yarn ties while I crochet. And keep continuing like this along the entire length of the bottom panel. Okay, now I'm finished all the single crochets along the whole bottom panel. Now I'm going to make small holes for the brown tie that we add later. Chain 2 and turn your work. Now I'm going to crochet along the length again, all the way to the end of this panel. I'm starting with a double crochet right in the first stitch. I'm going to skip one stitch so I don't insert my hook here. I yarn over, skip one stitch and insert my hook into the second stitch. And I make a double crochet. And that's how I made the first row. And again, I make one chain, yarn over, and I don't insert my hook here. I skip to the next stitch. And I make another double crochet. And again, I make one chain, yarn over, and I don't insert my hook here. I skip to the next stitch. And I make another double crochet. And now you can already see the holes forming. And I'm going to keep crocheting like this until the end of the panel. Now I'm at the end of the row, and with my panel length I don't skip the last stitch. I make a double crochet directly into the last stitch. Now we turn the work again. And now, all along the row, I'm going to make one single crochet into each stitch. I'm starting with one chain stitch, and now I'm making single crochets. So I'm making one single crochet into each double crochet and also into each chain space from the previous row. And I keep doing this until the end of the panel. The bottom panel is now finished. A tie will go through these holes later. For contrast, I choose brown yarn, and now I'm going to show you how to make a strong tie. This is the same dropped Belle yarn, but now instead of using a 4.5mm hook, I'm going to use a 4mm hook. I'm using a smaller hook to make the tie tighter and stronger. I'm starting with a very long chain of 250 stitches. You can make it even longer if you want. It needs to be long enough to go all the way through the panel and still be tied into a bow at the back. Okay, now I'm making my chain. Now that my chain is finished, I'm going to show you how to make it stronger. All I need to do now is make slip stitches into every chain. I insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over, and pull the yarn straight through the stitch and the loop already on my hook. And keep doing this all along the chain. Okay, I'm finished the whole length, and you can see that the tie is now thicker and stronger. And we are going to thread it through these holes in the bottom panel. You can attach a stitch marker at the beginning to make it easier. And now it's much easier to thread it through. This is how it's going to look. Now I'm going to show you how to make the front top panel. We are switching back to the 4.5mm hook. Make the chain as wide as your shoulders, or a little wider if you want a looser top. So now we can start crocheting. For me, this will be 72 chain stitches. And we are only going to make double crochets. So start by inserting your hook into the third chain. The bottom panel was growing around the body, but this front panel we grow from bottom to top. Remember to make 2 chain stitches to turn at the end of every row. For my size, I made 23 rows like this. Okay, this is my front panel. The difference between the front panel and the bottom panel is that here the rows are vertical and here they are horizontal. Now I'm going to show you how to make the back panels. At the back there will be a deep diagonal neckline, so the whole back will stay open like this. I'm going to make 2 separate back panels, so you need to measure how long your chain should be. I left a gap of 2 stitches between the panels. Fold the front panel in half and count your stitches. Then start the back panels with a chain that has the same number of stitches plus 2 more. In every row I'm going to make the panel narrower, so at the top there will be a short part left to sew the shoulders together. I'm going to show you how to do it now. In my case, I start the back panel with 32 chain stitches. We are starting the same way as with the previous panels. I make my 2 extra chain stitches and then I start making double crochets from the 3rd chain. I made my chain a little too long, but that's okay. If that happens to you, you can easily make it shorter. You don't need to start over. Just count 3 stitches and cut the yarn there, like this. Gently remove the cut yarn, grab the end and pull it tight. And now I have exactly the number of stitches I wanted. Remember to make 2 panels like this. Now I'm going to show you how I make the decreases. Two chain stitches to turn. Turn your work, and now I'm going to make a double crochet 2 together. Yarn over and insert your hook into the first stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops together. Then, for the rest of the row, we are only making double crochets. And here I am at the end of the row. Remember to always crochet into the very last stitch. On this side, I want to keep a straight edge, and on this side, I'm going to make the creases. So I make 2 chain stitches to turn, and I start making double crochets. But I'm not going to crochet all the way to the end of this row. In these last 2 stitches, I'm going to make another double crochet 2 together. You can place a stitch marker here so you don't forget. Okay, so now I continue making double crochets. And now I'm getting to these last 2 stitches. And here I'm going to make a double crochets 2 together. Yarn over and insert your hook into the first stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over. Now you have 3 loops on your hook and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops together. This is the side where I'm making the decreases. Again, 2 chains to turn. And here at the beginning of the row, we immediately make another double crochet 2 together. To make a double crochet 2 together, yarn over and insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops together. And now you can really see the panel starting to get narrow. And now until the end of the row, I'm only making double crochets. So, in the next row, again make 2 chains to turn and then make double crochets until these last 2 stitches where I make a double crochet 2 together. And then at the beginning of the next row, I make double crochet 2 together again. So remember, we only make the double crochets 2 together on this side in every row. And then continue with double crochets. Remember, you only make double crochet 2 together on this side for the decreases, and on this side just make double crochets. This is what the finished panel looks like. So here you can clearly see how the neckline shape was created. This side stayed straight. And at the top we have this small part left to sew the shoulders together. We'll connect the bottom part to the bottom panel. With the second panel, this will create the back neckline. These are the finished panels. The bottom panel with the decorative tie, the front panel, one back panel, and the second back panel. This triangle shape creates the back neckline. Now I'm going to show you how to assemble the top. First, sew the bottom panel together here. Then sew the front and back panels to the bottom panel. Sew the panels together at the shoulders. And that's the end of the part 1. In the next video, I show you how to finish the sleeve so the side give more coverage. How to make the smooth and delicate contrast edging around the neckline and how to create the back ties. You can already see how the top is starting to come together, but the fine details really bring the whole top together. Make sure to watch part 2 on my channel.